Hello everybody and welcome. I am Teresa with Keep in Touch Crafts. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Oak Grove, Minnesota. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be going over some techniques tonight, and I don't know if you'll be catching me on the replay or maybe you'll be with me live on YouTube or Facebook. Either one. I think I have them all going. Both of them going tonight. We were having technical difficulties last week, but I think I got that ironed out. I'm hoping so. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment, share, all that good stuff if you are so inclined. We are going to be talking a little bit first. I want to cover a special we have going on right now, just in case you're interested in our kits. I know I talked a lot about those last week, and we are having a buy one, get one half off, and it is only going through the end of June here, so you're going to want to get that order in soon if you are interested in getting some kits. I also want to let you know that for everybody who does place an order of $25 or more with my store, the Stampin' Up! Store, then you will be entered in a drawing to get a kit. One of the kits, I have a new one that I'm going to be drawing to give away. So feel free to place that order and get your name in there. For every order you're going to be getting in there again. So go ahead and place that order, and we will hopefully draw your name out of the box and get a kit out to you free. And you'll just be able to get me your address, and we'll get that in the mail to you. So time's ticking, though. Keep that in mind, okay? We're going to turn our camera down to the table. I do want to show you one other thing, though. First is, if you're interested in next month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, this is the information about it. It's called Sending Good Thoughts. And it is going to be, let's see, you're going to make 9 full-size cards with that. And it's going to have that beachy, summery type of a theme. So feel free to get that ordered by July 10th if you would like that July kit. Another thing, I was telling you that the kits are now on sale, the buy one, get one 50% off. And if you go to our website, you can see all of the different kits. And let's see here. And I was going to show you this one right here is one that I finally did put together, and I'm going to show you that. I'll go over here actually. So this is the frame that it comes with. I got to zoom out a little bit here, I think, so you can see it better. It comes with this, and there's several choices to what you want your background color to be, but this background went really well with my room here. And then it comes with these little, well, the clips come on it. You get these cards, and the cards are all different cards that you can fill out and have. Some of them have inspiration on them. Some of them are like to-do lists, that kind of thing. So I had, for example, I had put down some of the cards that I needed to get made so I could get those sent out. Some of that inspiration too is in there, and it comes with a bunch of different two-sided cards that you can customize for yourself depending on maybe you want inspiration. It comes with stickers and all kinds of other things, but this is just kind of what I have on there for now. I have the rest of it put away and tucked away. I put these stickers on that came with it, and you can personalize it to whatever you like best for your room. I think some of the colors are grays, these pinks, kind of a pinky, dusty pink color, and then this kind of two-tone, kind of greenish color. And depending on what you have for your room, you could put your own paper in here too. If you have a 12 by 12 paper, you can put anything in there that would match your decor. It's a great place to have your to-do lists and that kind of thing. And I just kind of have mine behind my little area here. I'll show you when I'm done. Let's go now to, oh yeah, these are the stickers. I guess I must have had them behind it. All kinds of stickers come with it so that you can customize it for whatever you want that to say and do, and there's other languages even. There you go. So that is one of our kits. And like I said, they're buy one, get one half off. And that is only until the end of June. All right, so what we're going to do now, I wanted to show you the paper pumpkin kit for this month was called Pick of the Crop, and that was our June 2022 kit. And I just thought I'd give you a quick peek of that one. It's kind of got a theme of kind of a gardening or, what is the farmer's market type of a theme to it. All the instructions, of course, are in there. And this, here is, it was telling us what's going to be coming. But what I thought was so cute about this is it comes with a little bag. Oh, you can put your cards in there or whatever you want to do. You can stamp right on it to customize it. And then it makes these are the 3 standard cards that it makes. And then you can also, like I usually do some alternatives, and so do other people as well, to give you other ideas what you can do with it. So you kind of get the idea. There's kind of a fruit and, a little cart here, and there's like baguettes and cheese and stuff like that. And it does have some vellum pieces, some twine in it. It pops up a little bit here. I don't know if you can see that. Super fun projects, and I have a lot more that a lot more of these die cuts and the pieces that I can use to make some alternative ideas for you. It comes with a really nice stamp set, and it says hello. That's probably from the bag. You can put it on there if you'd like, or whatever you want. Thinking of you, love you a whole bunch. You're the pick of the crop. You're the sweetest. And then there's some berries, strawberries, all kinds of goodies here that come with, and you'd be able to, of course, keep that and build up your stamp supply. And it comes with the Calypso Coral little Stampin' Spot and some twine. You'll have extras, which is nice, so then you can keep those to, like I said, build up your supplies of goodies. And it's a great way to build that up. All right, so I wanted to show you that. I also wanted to show you, this is the kit that I'm going to be giving away this month. This one is the kit that is called Notes of Cheer. There's a lot of die cuts in it. This doesn't really let you see too much of it, but I'm not going to open it. It's shows you there's some die cut pieces that you layer, and kind of a butterfly and notes of good cheer apparently in there. It's a really fun kit, and it's got some bling in it, and it's going to be in the mail to some lucky drawing winner. All right, what else? Let's go ahead, and I'm going to kind of show you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using some of these. I love these. These we have right now. They are a 3-pack of our sequins. And you can see that a lot of goodies come in those. They're so pretty. And you can use the different colors. They are a 3-pack that are in our new catalog. So we're going to use those. We are going to use some window sheeting. We have window sheets, but you may have some of these from other packaging or something else. But this is a real nice, just a clear Mylar. It's pretty thick. And you can emboss with it, but we're going to use it to make shaker cards today. So that was what I wanted to show you for that. And what else are we doing? I'm going to get the kits out of the way. So I'm going to show you some techniques using frames. You may not have the frame set that I'm going to be using. So an idea is to use your nesting dies, tape them together like that, and then you'll be able to make a frame that way. You can make them all different sizes, so if you'd rather have a deeper frame, you'd be able to, use whatever sizes you want. And that'll make more sense here. I'll demonstrate that with this in a moment. But the star of the show for today is going to be these dies, the frames dies. They are called Fabulous Frames, and it comes with a large frame. That this is so handy, and it embosses as well. It's going to put some detail onto your frame. It's not just going to be a plain flat surface. And then you have this size is next, and again there's that embossing detail on there. You'll see that as we use it. Then there's this oval, again, makes a frame, and it's smaller and has a lot of detail on it. It comes with a little sentiment die, so you can stamp your sentiment and cut it out with that. And then it comes with these dies that cut out corner pieces as well. So that can give you just a little more decoration on your card front. You can use those separately or, you know, together, whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you an example of that. And so we're going to use this and feature this. So let's pull in a little bit more here. I'm going to show you in our catalog, the new annual catalog. On page 171 is the frame set that I'm talking about, in case you're interested in that. Fabulous frames. It is a new set, so that is what is included in that one. I'm also going to be using kind of a sneak peek of one of our paper sets that's going to be in our next, what's the title I'm looking for here? We're going to have a sale of Celebration. We have Celebration starting in July. And so if you recall, if you've watched this much before, you'll know in a couple of times a year, we have it so that if you place an order, you earn free product. And this is going to be one of the free stamp sets you'll be able to get. And it comes with a beautiful paper set as well. So I am going to be featuring that. I'm going to pull some of this out for you to see. They're both going to be products that are free that you earn with your orders. So I should have had this out ahead of time. Sorry about that. Goodness. All right, so this one obviously is a floral set. We're going to have a lot of other things for you to see as well. If you need a catalog, let me know. I'd be happy to send you out a catalog in the mail if you don't have that. So we have one side is kind of the floral side, and you can see I've been using that. Real pretty colors here. This is a repeat. I should probably just do these full sheets here. So that one, and then here this one has a lot of those focal point pieces, so you can just kind of fussy cut those out. They're great for shaker cards, and really nice for those main focal points of your cards. And there's some prints as well, a couple of pages of that. Let's see, I think I missed this one. Pretty. And then the back side, they're a little less floral, more of a tone on tone typically. Love that green too. I think that is everything on that one. Okay, so that is what that paper pack is going to have in it. That's just a little sneak peek. Today I'm going to be using for the project I'm going to be making, I'll use these 2021 to 23 opal rounds that are colored. Probably use those pink ones. And, oh gosh, where do I begin? Let's go ahead and talk about actually I'm going to show you some samples, okay? So that you kind of know what I'm talking about here. I've used these for most of them, I believe. So we're going to be starting out, I'm going to show you some samples, or some things that you can do to add dimension, and you can intermix. So you can use your die, and you can cut out white and you know, different colors that go together, and you can mix and match with those. Then you can take the center piece, they're separate. You can keep the center, and then I put this one up on dimensionals, and it just adds that dimension to your card front and kind of gives it a focal point. So that was this smaller one. Then I did use a couple of them together on this one. I haven't put the sentiment on this and a couple of them just because I'm not sure what I want to use them for yet, but they could be about anything. I kind of mixed and matched here. So I used this frame, this medium size one here, and it does cut out the center. So the center comes out and it leaves the frame. And so you can mix and match the center and the outside piece as well. And that's what I did here. I used I used 2 colors of cardstock and also a pattern and put it on top of this one. I did inset it into this paper. And here's another example that's similar. I just kind of started out with this one. So what I like to do is add dimension by having one of the elements layered. So I put about 2 or 3 layers that I glue down of white cardstock or a colored cardstock or something, just to make it have more depth. But I do that just on a select portion of it. And you'll see kind of more what that's like in a moment. Let's see here. I'm also making shaker cards with these. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I am using that window sheeting that we talked about. And those little, the beautiful bling here, the sequins that we have. And we have those 3 different colors, so you can use whatever works for your project. I'm going to show you a couple more. This is a happy birthday one I made with this is retired paper that was from our Waves collection with some foil and kind of a blingy one, definitely. I had stamped the background there and put it on some of our Waves paper that we had before. And I kind of have a similar theme, but this time I didn't use that retired paper. I just stamped using our Waves stamp. And it comes with some layered like clouds that are in there. I don't know how well you can see that. And there's some seagulls that I kind of die cut out from foil. And it's just real blingy and bright and kind of a cheerful card there. And I have several layers, and I have a small border of white going around there. And so that just kind of gives you an idea of the shaker elements there. And then I also did kind of a birthday card one. The more layers you have, like in other words, the thicker you have your border or whatever you're having for your shaker, the more they'll kind of shake around. I did glue a few down here and there. And then the rest of them I just kind of left loose in there. I made kind of a faux cake just by using our squares that we have that are 3 graduated layers to make kind of a cake on that one. And this is just some of our vellum with our happy birthday stamped. Then I did put some sequins on the edge as well. And we'll be going over how to make the shaker cards, okay? All right, I did want to show you a little technique also. So that is going to be something kind of separate. I'm going to kind of get organized a little bit here, guys. Pull in the supplies for our actual card. And, oh, I have other samples. I forgot about these. This is to show you that you can do this without making a shaker. If you're using the border frame, you could just make it kind of frame out something too, so it just kind of highlights that and just kind of gives it a little more interest on and depth on the front of a card. This is some designer series paper that we have, and all I did was make a thicker frame on it, and it just that's about all it needs. Kind of that, I think it's gosh, what is that set called? I'll have to find that. I should have had that marked. Okay, where is it in here? I think it's in the back. Oh, here was our Waves die or stamp that I just showed you a little bit ago. That is on page 101, and I used that set for that one shaker a few seconds ago I was showing you. And let's look in the back for this set. Hello, bear, where are you? I suppose I'm not going to find it. This nature, I think it was a nature one. Oh, pretty. I featured a lot of these already. Since it's so new, though, it's kind of surprising. Happy Forest Friends. No, that's not it. Oh, here they are. There, isn't that cute? Oh, I love this set. It's great for baby cards, and you can do so much with this. But it's got a real pretty set of pretty. I don't know if that's the right word, but I just love this soft nature set in there. There's the trees and the little bear and the owl and the fox and Hello Baby. So it makes great baby cards. You can do a lot more with it as well. But that is this. What I did with this. You can see I didn't really do much. I just made a frame. Then I have a couple more I'm going to show. Here's a bunch of paper. Okay, this is that new paper set, and kind of just lifted up this center section to kind of make that the focal point of this card. And I used some of our new metallic ribbon there. And then I used the outside of this that I cut it out of as the inside decoration too. So that kind of adds more interest to the inside as well. So just a couple more ideas for you. And what I've been doing is, as I make things, I just make extras and I kind of keep these around, and then you can mix and match. So you might be making something with this color scheme, or you can, put them together. You can mix and match, basically, is what you can do. And so just having these available is going to make some of that go really quickly, make it easy. Even just the white, I really like that just in itself. That just can make a focal point out of anything. And you can really have those plain papers jazzed up in no time, and you don't really have to do a whole lot to your project. So I'm going to use the Go-To Greeting stamp set here, and just use our little happy birthday. And what I have done is, I'll show you. We're going to do some die cutting and some preparing and all that good stuff. But what I'm going to do is, here we go. I decided to use the Razzleberry, I guess you'd call it, Rich Razzleberry, as my card base, and it's just cutting our 8.5 by 11 cardstock in half at 4 1/4 and scoring it at 5 1/2 to make a top fold standard card base. Crease that down really well with your bone folder. Then I cut out some of this new paper, that paper pack I was showing you. That's going to be in the Celebration. That is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to be putting that as just kind of the background paper here. Then I cut out one of those focal points, and we're going to be using that. We're going to put that in kind of popped up for our shaker, and we're going to make a shaker card out of this. I did want to show you one really fun technique that I learned recently, and that is if you take packing tape, and we're going to do that, maybe we'll do it on one of our frames. Sometimes we want to have the look of that shiny embossed paper, or maybe your focal point, you want it to look embossed. But one thing you can do is take just basic clear tape and put over your cardstock or your designer series paper, whatever you're using, and tape that all down. Oops, I don't want to tape it to my surface here. Before you do any die cutting, of course it would have to be, if you're doing stamping or something, you'd want to do that first. But you're going to make it look like, as we cut this out, it's going to look like it was clear embossed. Nobody will know. You just got to be careful on your seams so you don't have a big gap or a big overlap, but just kind of keeping that tape right on there. It's going to make it nice and shiny. You don't want a big bubble in there or anything, but I will kind of show you what I'm talking about here soon. But I did cut out some of these corner pieces using that taped paper, and this is kind of what it looks like. I don't know if you can see. It's very clear, very shiny, I mean, and it just looks like it was clear embossed. And I just think that's a quick, easy way to add some shine to certain areas without having to pull out your clear embossing and do all of that. If you just kind of have a basic general area you want all clear, I mean, you can't do this in certain areas, but if you want it all over, this is a great way to do that. Just make sure you're taping, of course, before you die cut. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to die cut this one, and I'm just going to use the frame and make just the frame nice and shiny, okay? I'll show you that as we get going here. So this is also going to be in the background. I am going to go ahead and adhere this down onto our card front with my tape. I was going to probably use some, here we are, my good liquid, what do we call it, multi-purpose glue, and this will be gluing down our card front. You're going to be needing your tear and tape because that is nice and strong and works really well for whenever you're going to be doing shaker cards. It's really nice to have tear and tape, in my opinion. That's the best one. But if you have any kind of strong adhesive, you just don't want that coming apart, of course. All right, that's going to be just our basic front. And we're going to put the lid on this. And let's go ahead and bring in our die cutting machine, our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, we got this big guy in here. We are going to do some die cutting. I'm going to grab our dies, and one thing I wanted to do too is show you that you can make, you can do an actual frame, and it can be wider than this if you want, but this is just an example. And I was going to show you, let's see if this is big enough paper. Yeah. So if you wanted to make a frame, for example, I'm just going to show you that you can use these nesting dies as well. Oops, I want to put it down here instead. I'm hoping that is showing okay. So I just went and used some painter's tape that's that purple. That's kind of a lighter tack to it, so it's not going to rip my project when I take it off. But this is just another way to make a frame if you don't have this frame die set that I'm showing you and demonstrating tonight. I like it if I can give you alternatives to be able to use what you have. So if you wanted, see that, look at this beautiful frame then. It made a really nice frame, and you could have that on your card front. But what you do is cut about 3 white ones out, and you're going to glue them on top of each other to stack them up to make a little, like a higher sandwich. And that's kind of what I'll be doing, and I'll demonstrate that too. And then you also have this centerpiece that it cuts out, and it's got the stitching on it, and that works really well too. So you can just build up one piece or the other if you just want to show some dimension on your project. But I wanted you to see that you can do this with your nesting dies, okay? And let's go ahead then and pull in our other die sets that we're using. I hit it on myself, apparently. Probably put it down here. Oh, goodness, I'm hiding it on myself. Where would I put? Here. Oh, see, I hit it again. All right, so I'm going to grab this one to show you. We're going to cut out the frame. And this is, I'm going to be showing you how you can make it shiny to make it look like it was embossed. All right, so we're just going to take this piece that I cut out, and just to give you an idea of size, this piece is 3 3/8 by 4 1/4, and so that gives you the idea for the size of this is roughly, it's right a little over 4 inches, about 4 1/8 by 2 5/8, almost 2 3/4. All right, so this is going to be cut here, and we're going to get a nice shiny frame for our card front. And it's just an easy crank through. And so that is going to give you this, oops, did I miss a spot? Might have. I got to put that through again. Looks like I didn't quite give it enough oomph. Needs a little more cutting. Gosh, I would have thought. Just going to make sure that it didn't do it. I must not have had it quite. Oh yeah, I did. I'll probably rip it now, but I think it really did cut. But having that tape on there is just making it a little bit tougher. So just to make sure, I am going to run it through again, because I do not want to rip that like I have been almost doing. It's just about done. It barely needs it, but just to be sure, let's do that again. I just hope it goes in the same spot and it didn't move. I should have just cranked it back. So note to self, don't be afraid to crank it maybe twice through when it has the tape on it, just to give it a little bit more cutting. Okay, so there we go. I don't know what I'm doing. And it moved it and everything. Oh goodness, you guys. Okay, so that's what you don't do. How's that? Isn't that pretty? I'm going to try that again. Oh my goodness. So what you don't do is get too much of a hurry, so that your project doesn't cut properly and you just are hurrying too much and you don't let it cut. So let's do that again, guys. I am going to pull in another piece of paper. I just happen to have one, and I am going to put some tape on it like we did before, and then we're going to make this work, because it does work. I've done it a lot, and you wouldn't know that right now because we're on live, and that's what happens. Goodness. Okay. So I am going to pull this towards me so I can get the tape in the right spot. Goodness. It doesn't have to be perfect. And when you're die cutting it, it kind of presses it in a little bit more, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about getting it all perfect, but it probably wouldn't hurt to give it a little press with your bone folder. All right, I am going to trim this off because this is extra large. I don't need all of this. So we'll cut a little bit off here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to use that. And we're going to do this again. If you ever want to ensure that it's cutting well when you're using your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can always put it this way with the cutting side up. So I'm going to do that this time. I haven't had trouble cutting with that, but I don't want that to happen again. So to be sure, I am going to put it in like that. And we're going to go out and back. And there's no reason, yeah, I can see it already cut so much better, and it's done. See, that's the way it's supposed to be. And so here's our lovely frame. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is so pretty. It's got the emboss pattern is in it, and it looks just like it was embossed with clear embossing powder, and it's just very shiny and very pretty. We're going to use that for our project. And next we're going to get this out of the way. And so our card front, we're using that pretty piece. This focal point is going to be on our card front. And so I am going to cut this out where I want it to be for our project. And this will be easy to run through because it's just this layer, and the image is very large for this, but it's okay because it still looks nice. I feel inside the frame should be just fine. Okay. All right, so as you can see, it cut out the frame piece, the frame and the focal point part. I mean, you can keep it together if you want, but I'm just going to use this part of it. Since I already have, I'm going to use this as the frame to go on the outside of it. So it'll make more sense once we're assembling. Then what you would normally be doing is use the same die and cut out at least 3 layers on just some scrap paper. I usually just use white. You can use scrap, like I said, if you want, but the edges might show, so you don't want it to be a completely different color. I'm going to find where I put mine here because I cut them out ahead of time. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to pull in, oh, I should do one more thing. I still need to do that. We're going to make our little sentiment strip, and we're going to use the die to cut that out. All right, so here is our die for the sentiment strip. We're going to, I'll probably just do this on white, and we're going to use the thank you or birthday. Maybe this thank you. I'll use that one. I think that'll fit very well in our little frame piece, like so. So we're going to use just a white. So pull out a white scrap, and I'm going to grab my block here and pick that up. And we're going to stamp this. You can use a coordinating color if you want. You can use black if you want it to be really bold. I think I'm going to use... Let's see how the rich razzleberry, it matches the paper, the cardstock, of course. So we'll see how that looks here. If it's dark enough. You don't have to be careful about where you're stamping it because, there we go, because you can put your frame over it and get it right into place wherever you want it. And so you can just go ahead and stamp it wherever, and then I'm going to clean that later. I am going to get a little, like maybe a Post-it note will be good. And I'm going to put the Post-it note down to keep that in place before I run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again. We just want it to be nice and straight, cutting it nice and even. I think that'll be pretty good. So that's how you do that. Let's go ahead and bring it back again. I just want to make sure, okay, yep, I do have these cut out. So I have 1 and a 2, and I should have at least 3. So I might do 1 more, just to show you anyways. So here is a couple of these, and I want at least 3, and you know, it doesn't hurt to do more, but I'm going to do that at the same time as I am working on this sentiment strip here. All right, pull that big guy in again, and we'll get it going as long as I can find out where I put everything. Okay, So here is our, everything is really spelled out when you use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Everything's numbered, and I'm too close, sorry guys. Everything is numbered, and it tells you exactly the layers, how to do it, so there's no guessing. You know, everything's pretty simple and straightforward as far as what plates you need and what layers. It's all laid out for you. I think I might go this way just to make sure I have enough room, and we'll put this one over it, and I believe that should be okay, and we'll crank that through. And it's embossing at the same time, those details in the frame piece. All right, and it cut out our sentiment, and it moved apparently. Oh my goodness. I think it moved because I'm surprised that moved. Gosh, I don't know why that happened. I'm being too just fast, I guess. I could always try that again and on the back here. It's one of those days, I tell ya. I'm gonna try to stamp that again on the back. I don't know why it moved on me so that it got all messed up. And I think that's better. Oh, if it can happen, it does, right? Okay. We can put all that aside. Now we are going to work on assembling, basically. All right, card pieces. There's that. This. What we're going to do now is pull in our your liquid glue, and we're going to make some stacks. Stack up some of these layers and pieces here to make it thicker. And another thing I want to do is cut out our window sheet. Yeah, this, I'm going to use that, and we are going to use this. And we can use some of these corners if we want. We shall see. And if the mood strikes, right? All right, so here's our card front. And we can go ahead and start off with, what I did was I took the window sheet and I just drew around the actual die, because if you run the window sheet through the die cut machine, it's going to cut out that center piece, and it's not going to give you that full coverage you need of your piece here. You need that full sheet in there, and you don't want it to cut out that center piece. You don't want this cut out of this. So we want a full piece of sheeting that we're going to sandwich in there. So I just drew around the die, and then I'm going to cut right around the edge here, and then we'll be able to, it's not going to show because we're going to have it between two pieces of cardstock that are cut out the same size. You'll see in a moment what I'm talking about. And none of this will really show. We just don't want it cut so small so that it can leak out. We want to have a nice covering of this window sheeting so that those lovely sequins don't slip out. And you know, you don't have to use you can get window sheeting if you have any like other packaging. You can cut it out of that even sometimes. Just you'll kind of want to take a look at it, make sure it seems to be good quality and thick enough so that it doesn't that'll hold together well, that kind of thing. All right, so let's put together some of these layers. I am going to put some liquid adhesive on the back of some of these, If you have thick cardstock, that works really well too. You're going to be building up these layers. So you just want to put some thin amount of the adhesive on here. You don't want too much that it oozes all over, like I probably have a little bit more than I should right in that area. And I'm going to kind of, nobody will see it. I mean, it's not going to show if it oozes out. You're just putting the same sizes all together here. And you just want to stack them. And I would use at least 3. So here's 2 layers. And you can build it up to be, you know, higher if you want a deeper, thicker stack. And we'll do another one here. So our techniques that we're learning are some of the die cutting and stacking the die cuts. We're learning about a little kind of a hack was using our packaging tape to make something shiny and make it look like it was clear embossed. It's not exactly like, it's not foolproof, you know, but it does add that shine, and it's a quick way to get some shine onto your project in different areas. So that's what we're using with this piece. It's kind of all curled up, but we're going to be gluing that down. So what we're going to do here is let's pull in, this is the image that we're going to have on our card front. That's going to be the shaker part. And we could put this onto a piece of our rich razzleberry, but I think it'll be okay just like this, because this frame here, this shiny one, is going to be separating that from this background. So we can go ahead and figure out where we want all of these pieces. And you can even put the frame on first and then put the pieces in after that. So you'd be able to do it like that, okay? And even a card front, isn't that pretty on its own? That's what I like about these stacked frames. They add this detail, that's this depth to it, and isn't that pretty? I mean, that in itself would be a pretty card front. And that is what I did with some of those other samples that I made. But I do want you to see how to make a shaker, because that's kind of a fun thing to try to make too. So let's go ahead and glue this stacked frame in place. And then that is going to tell me where to glue down our focal point. Since everything is cut with the same die, it all is mix and matchable. You can work, you know, they all work together really well, which is really nice. So I'm just going to press that down, and this is going to get covered up. We're going to put our focal point piece in. And that'll slip right into place. And you can see that really makes it kind of jump out a little bit more. And now this is where we're going to have our shaker part, where that's going to be. And so let's get our shaker pieces. I think I could use pink and green in this one. Either and both would work. What I start with is I do like to do a little bit, like I said before, I like to glue some into place. And if you have a little mat, let's see, our silicone mat, that works great with your adhesive. Then you can put glue on here and it is easy to clean up. So I'm just doing that here, a little pool of that. And I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool. That makes it super easy too. So I'm going to put some of these in the lid. I don't know if you can see how pretty they are. Lots of pretty shimmer in there. There's gold, there's white, there's some different shapes. different colors. It's not just all the same. So, wow, that's going to be pretty. And then this is very similar, and there's like pearly pieces, and that's the green. So those work very well with this project. And what's nice is take your pick tool has a little bit of the sticky end here, and then you can just grab what you want. You can grab it and just put a little bit of glue on it and kind of put it into place wherever you want it to stay. But it probably won't. Okay, try that again. Oh goodness. Okay, a little bit more glue this time. Now I know I want it right in the center here. Pretty. And you can do that with a few more. I probably won't do a lot of that just because I kind of want to get this done for y'all. So I'm just putting a couple there in the middle, and then maybe, you could do a few green. And just kind of some of the open areas, glue some of those down. Shoot, that's way too much glue. Oh. Just use a little bit of glue, not a lot like that. And I would normally wait for this all to dry really well before you put it all together. But let's go ahead and just do it anyways here. Put a few sprinkles in there. And a few more sprinkles, just a little bit of this pink. Doesn't fit too much in there because I just am using that small frame. And then we're going to put our, we want to go ahead and get our window sheeting on there. We can put it on the back of this probably and then just adhere it down. But what you want to do is try to use tear and tape for part of it if you can. Oh goodness, I have glue everywhere. Tear and tape. So the tear and tape is going to for sure be able to go onto these ends here. It's very narrow here, so you just kind of want to be careful. You might want to fold it over, and I'll kind of show you how that works here in a minute. I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. Let's pull this into view. All right, I'm going to put some here. And I'm going to put some here. Oh my goodness. I just tore up a layer. Nice. I haven't had that happen before. So I better glue that down a little bit. If it can happen, it will. Live on national, not TV, but for everyone to see. Work out all of our problems here so that if it happens to you, then you will know, oh yeah, or to be more careful so it doesn't happen. That might be the way to go. And I'm spilling everything, oh goodness. All right, so I'm gonna put some on this side, but I'm gonna fold it back over. You could also cut it, like trim it. But what I'm going to do is pull this off. Like so. And then I'm going to fold this extra side back up. Well, you don't want that hanging over. And then that'll just make it kind of sandwiched in between. Because it's a double stick, right? And carefully, I want to do that over on this side too. But I think I'm going to just try some liquid glue here and see how that works. If it doesn't work well, then we'll know that doesn't work well. But I am going to put some of this liquid adhesive just kind of in some of these other areas where we don't have the tear and tape. expose this tear and tape. And then we're going to put the window sheeting in place. So if you have problems, like I do sometimes, with getting adhesive on it, and then you're afraid it's going to show and look bad, you can use just a little bit of alcohol wipe here and just clean that off. It doesn't come dirty. Somehow it gets that way at my house. I used to blame it on my kids, but now I can't. Okay, there we go. All right, get it kind of cleaned off. You can always clean off the side that's out, but you can't clean off the side that's in. So that's why I just start with them both, kind of try to clean it off a little bit there. And then we're going to put this into place. That's a big one right there. I think that one's too big. All right, so we're going to try to get this right into place and really sealed well. We can always trim it if we have to a little bit later. And then we're going to bring in our framed piece that we're going to glue into place. And since we don't have the tape on this back side, the liquid adhesive will work really well. It just doesn't glue the best on the shiny side, but we don't have that on the back, so that should be all right. I have like stuff stuck all, like glitter all over me. Okay, come on, liquid adhesive, help me out here. We're doing really well. I suppose it's getting nice and emptied out because I've been using a lot of it. Now this will cover up the boo-boos and all the little imperfections. I just want to get that into place. And we can go back in with another little wipe a little later here and kind of get some of these oozing areas so that they're nice and cleaned up. Just getting this into place a little bit more. Everything kind of slides around until it really holds. So you have a little time to scoot and wiggle and get everything into place right where you want it. I don't know, I'm hoping you're able to see that okay and then it looks all right. And I do need to do some trimming on this side, I think. I just don't want to mess with it too much right now so that it leaks out or anything. I just kind of want to let that set up, and then I'll go back and do some finishing up a little bit and get it tidied up, I guess. So let's bring in some of our, I guess you hardly even need bling, do ya? I mean, I'm still going to probably use this, but you could use, and probably should use, what's in the actual collection too, that we've put inside. And we need our die cut sentiment. And we're going to just go ahead and put this on here. It would be nice if I had some string. You know, you could use our baker's twine, put that in the holes, or you can just put a little sequins over those little dots too, or those little holes there. It would be nice to be matted a little bit as well. I'm just going to leave it as is. Sometimes people, I don't usually do this, too much, sorry guys, but sometimes you can ink the edges too, which kind of gives it a little bit more of a finished look. And sometimes I just do it this way, where I just kind of dip it. So you're getting just a little bit of an edge from your ink onto your piece here that you're die cutting, and it just adds a little bit to that. A little bit of a finished edge. little more interest, I guess. And I was thinking about using just some of this. This is our ribbon that is, what's it called? Our open weave ribbon. I don't know if that would fit through the hole, but that would look kind of cool. I don't think I could get it through the hole, but maybe I can enlarge it. Let's try that. Oh, this isn't a big enough one though. Okay, let's not. I want dimensionals now. I'm going to be putting the dimensionals on the back, and that will pop this up. And you can see our mistake on the back here. Cover that right up. Nobody will know. Okay. And where do we want this to go? You can put it somewhere here. I kind of like it on here. I don't know. This time I'm not sure. Usually I just kind of have a thought and I just go with it, but this one's harder for me for some reason. Let's just go about here. Okay, so I'm going to press that on there, and we're going to put some little of these are those in color opal rounds, those on those little ends. And this is usually what kind of polishes up your project a little bit, is these little details that kind of makes it look a little more finished. And let's go ahead and make a little bow. I don't know why I'm attempting a bow today of all days with my glue all over my fingers and the messes and issues I've had. Oh my goodness, it's been one thing after another. Oh my gosh. So yeah, let's do a knot. We are going to keep it simple. And I'm going to trim off these ends a little bit. And this brings just another little pop of color on there. And I like to use glue dots on these, as you know. Our mini glue dots here. And let's bring it to there. So I want, which side looks better? I want that side down. And this can go here, maybe. All right, there we are. Also, I like to always decorate the inside, even if it's just something simple. We can pull in some of these other frames, like this would look nice in here. This is just a plain white frame that I had die cut out earlier with the larger frame. And we'll just put that in there. It just adds a little interest. And I always like to have a little bit of lighter colored paper, or a lighter background to write on. So if you want to write a sentiment or stamp a sentiment on the inside, I kind of like to have the center be lighter. And so you could use something like that, and that's meant to be that way, but I'm not really liking that too much. We could try something like that, like this, but it'd be better to use some of the coordinating paper that from this set if we want to do that. Or I could use some of these lighter colors. I could pull in the lighter green color, the lightest pink. That would look really nice, I think. So maybe I'll do that. I'm going to bring in some of the pink, and I want to just cut a piece that will go in there. I think that will look pretty. Now the quickest way to cut the piece to go in there is to die cut it. So just pull in that frame that die that we've been using, or part of the die set. And I'm going to just go ahead and do a quick die cut of this so that it'll go on the inside and kind of finish that a little bit better. You could stamp your sentiment if you have one that you want on there. You can leave it and do it later if you're not sure what you want it to say. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and die cut this. Bringing this beast in again. Get my project out of the way. All right. This was a kind of a afterthought here of using this. Otherwise, I would have done that right away. Clunkety clunk. I'll just pull it back this way and we'll get it out of the way here. Right, we're almost done. We're going to take this perfectly cut center now, since it was die cut from that same piece. This we can save for another project, and then we'll just put this in here. And that's going to decorate and dress up that inside a little bit. You could definitely put some, some of the paper. You could cut out a strip or two of the designer series paper that was on the front. And that would be nice too to decorate that. But we can just leave it like so as well. Okay. So here's our finished card with our scooted. Like that scooted a little bit. I'm going to clean this up and kind of trim in that area just to get that nice and cleaned up. Just kind of got to go along, and this just kind of slid out a little bit, it looks like. And I kind of want that neater, so that should be okay once we get this into place. You can always use a little marker and kind of color some of that, but I don't mind that white showing. So it's a little shaker front piece. What do you think? There you go. And then I will probably put another sentiment and some more decorations on the inside. But I hope this kind of helps you get a little bit more of an idea of what you can do with some of those frame dies. And hopefully you're inspired a little bit. And oh goodness, I had about everything go wrong that you could. So we've hopefully worked through some of those issues, so when you do it, you'll know what to do, or maybe avoid a bunch of those things that I had happen. Oh goodness. Well, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to let me see some of your projects that you've made with these. Maybe it'll inspire you to use your nesting dies in different ways. Make some borders. You can make them wider and thinner, different widths, and use those up and make some shaker cards. I'd love to see them. We'll see you again next week, and we'll work on some more techniques and some more cards, and happy crafting. Thanks for tuning in.